Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about Saint Death's Daughter by C.S.E. Cooney. Saint Death's Daughter is a book that has been on my TBR shelf for a hot minute here. I snagged it when it first came out in 2022 in anticipation of our Undead Girl Autumn that fall. You know, we were talking about things like The Locked Tomb and House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson, Dead Country by Max Gladstone. We were really in our necromancers and vampires and undead girls. And there were, unfortunately, a couple of books that I had wanted to talk about at that time that just didn't fit in the schedule in 2022. We talked about one earlier this winter that I absolutely adored, Daughter of Red Winter, and finally I got to read Saint Death's Daughter, which many people have loved, and which I can count myself in that number now, because this is such a lovely and delicious and sumptuous feast of a book. It's one where I'm like, oh, I'm glad that I waited, because the sequel, Saint Death's Herald, is out in a couple of weeks. So now it's close. It's close. That's the sort of feeling that I'm getting to have with this one. It is a sort of coming-of-age fantasy novel about a young woman, miscellaneous immiscible stones, a scion of a family that's a long line of executioners, assassins, necromancers, and as a young and budding necromancer herself, she has an unfortunate allergy. She is allergic to death. She's allergic to violence. She experiences echo wounds when she's in contact with people being injured, or hives by virtue of being in contact with people with blood on their hands. So as you can imagine, this is not the most convenient way to grow up. But Lainey makes it through with a really remarkable sense of joie de vivre, a real power of intellection and charm and wit and verve, and we go from there. We have strange wizards of various sorts, strange wizards across different cultures. We've got lots of birds going on, bird transformations, strange bird magics, 4 and 20 blackbirds baked into a pie. And it's just really a novel like a poem. We have these wonderful sequences of characters whose native language is rhyming, and so we get this extended bit of dialogue in rhyme and really beautiful poetic quality to it. It's a book that's in love with language, that has all sorts of desperately, deliciously uncommon words throughout it, and at the same time a real intentionality in thinking about personal agency, about the relationship between the self and violence, between the self and the death, between what we owe to our community and what we owe to ourselves, how easy it is to replicate patterns of behavior, and there are, undead skeletons and revenants and more skeletons than you can shake a stick at. We'll say that. And a wonderful approach to divinity as well. So, just an absolutely marvelous, all marvelous book. And so, of course, we had to have a drink inspired by it. Our drink today is the Panthauma, the All Marvel, and it's proximate to a Paloma in that we will have some grapefruit here. So one of the really cool sequences in the book is we've got a couple of these where at the four solar festival days, you know, the equinoxes and the solstices, we have this surge of magical energy and this culture of using that time to do major works of magic. And the magic of necromancy in the world of Saint Death's Daughter smells like citrus. So, for our all marvel, our Panthauma, we're going to have all the citrus that I can possibly squeeze into a single drink. I'm telling you, all the citrus. But we're going to start with our base spirit. We're going to start with 1.5 ounces of a Navy Strength gin. This is the Royal Dock gin by Heyman's. We have this family that the Stoneses are associated with, the Blood Royal Brackenwilds, the kings and queens of Lyria, this country that they live in. And so this feels especially appropriate. And it's going to bring a sort of citrusy quality to it, because you are going to have some citrus peel in that herbal build when you're making a gin. But also bring a really strong backbone, lots of bones in this book, toe bones and all manner of things. But we're going to get 1.5 ounces of that in there. It's going to bring some herbal quality as well. Next, we will get 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lemon juice. I've got my lemon wheel on here too, as we'll see. This is to bring that. So we've got our first of our citruses. Second, we will get 1/2 ounce of yuzu curacao, a wonderful small limited edition curacao that Pierre Ferrand did. It's going to be a little bit different than your orange curacao, a little bit lighter. Yuzu, it's sort of between a lemon and a grapefruit in its flavor profile, so a bit zippier, a bit zingier, and really refreshing in a cocktail. A fun way to just sort of elevate the places where you're using orange curacao. Certainly, if you wanted to try some variations on this one, you know, use the orange curacao and some yuzu bitters instead. Change it up. Do some lime juice instead of lemon juice, and lemon cordial instead of the lime cordial that I'm grabbing now. It'll end up being a little bit different, but it'll still be that pure, wonderful citrus, and might be a fun place for you to try a little variation yourself. But so far, we've got 1.5 ounces of our Navy Strength gin, 3/4 of an ounce of our lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of our yuzu curacao, and now 1/4 ounce of lime cordial. This is the lime syrup that we make here for Bar Cart Bookshelf with lime peel, sugar, and lime juice. So it's got that zinginess, that citrus brightness, but also the depth of flavor that you get from the oils in the lime peel as well. So really rich and delicious there, while still being bright and zippy and citrusy the way that we want. And then we'll get a couple of dashes, 1, 2, 3, 4, of orange bitters in here. I'm using the Regan's bitters. They're a nice dry orange bitters. And again, we're bringing as much citrus to our Panthauma as we possibly can. Every kind of citrus that I had available on my bar is here in this drink. Every possible citrus fruit that I can represent, we've got. Now, I want to get some Buddha's hands, but that'll be, for a ways down the line, because, we've got this series here, and we'll have opportunities for more citrus later on. We've got all of our liquid ingredients in here. We'll get our ice into our cocktail. Lovely. And we'll shake it up, wake it up. While we're doing that, take a highball glass here and get some fresh ice down into that. Perfect. All prepped. Got our nice frosty, freezy shaker tin here. Let that drip on down. Take our Hawthorne strainer and strain. Perfect. As you can see, we've still got some space in our glass, so we're going to bring our final bit of citrus in this pink sparkling grapefruit soda from Fever Tree. We've got this wonderful love of color that Lainey has, pinks and yellows, and so not only are we getting the delicious citrus flavors, but also that quality of as natural and wonderful and perfect a pink as you can wish for. Give that a stir with a straw just to integrate our cocktail and our soda, and there you have it. This is the Panthauma, inspired by Saint Death's Daughter by C.S.E. Cooney. I've got a link to snag the book in the description down below. You should really check it out. You've got just a couple of weeks before Book 2, Saint Death's Herald, comes out, and I am just so excited to dig into that as soon as it arrives at my house. I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. I think you're going to really have a lot of fun with it. I've got links to various forms of social media, including Blue Sky and Instagram, where there is always a written version of today's recipe. I've got a link to snag my book, Cocktails and Consoles, 75 Cocktails and Mocktails Inspired by the Wonderful World of Video Games. I hope y'all will check that out too. Hit that like button. It makes me so, so happy when you do. Subscribe if you haven't already so you never miss an episode. We've got some great novellas that we're going to be talking about in the next couple of weeks, and some wonderful novels as we head deeper into spring and on into the summer as well. I'm really excited about some of the books that we'll be discussing here on Bar Cart Bookshelf. As always, try the drink. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And until next time, cheers.